Hello guys, my name is Khan, and in today's video we will be discussing about data blending in Tableau. So for this video I will be giving example through two different kind of data sets. So first what I will be doing is that I will be trying to create blend data between for the US census. So data blending is also more like a data merging. So I will be using these four datasets that I have just selected. So I will be using this US Census version 1, version 2, version 3, and then version 4. And then I will try to blend all these four versions into one dataset into Tableau. And I will quickly also go through these dataset one by one and what's the difference in these dataset. So let's see if I go open the version 1 dataset. And initially the US dataset, when I will be using US census dataset, I will be doing one-to-one merging. So by one-to-one merging means that for one observation, for one row in one dataset, I will try to match one other observation in the other dataset. And then for the later datasets, when we will discuss in future, I will also talk about one-to-many merge too, but for US census dataset that I will be using, I will be mainly only talking about one-to-one merge for US census. So for this US census version 1, I have a lot of variables in which for each observation is unique at a state level. So each row is representing one state, and there are about 50 rows in our data. So here you can see that there is a population variable in this data set. So if I open my second data set, what we are trying to say that in version 2 and version 3 and version 4, we have the population variable, the updated version of population. So suppose if you have collected the data and over the time you keep on collecting the population variable, the updated population numbers in each state. So suppose if I look at version 2, so this is version 2 in which I have the updated population numbers. And here in version 1 and version 2, if you and there is another important thing that for each state we have the equal number of rows in version 1 and version 2. So we have about 51 rows, and each row, each state which is in version 1 is also present in version 2. But whereas in my version 3 and version 4, I will quickly go through version 3 and version 4 too. So this is my version 3. So in version 3, if you see that there are some states missing, so we will also discuss that how Tableau will deal with those observations which are not matching in data sets. And quickly I will go through version 4 dataset 2. In version 4, that not only few of the observations are missing, that there are some states which are Punjab and Sindh, which are more like India, Pakistan states, but not in US states, which are not present in version 1. And then we will also discuss that how Tableau will deal with such kind of observation too, which are only present in master dataset and not in the using datasets. And for this video, we will be considering version 1 as a master or as a main dataset. And then we will try to blend all the remaining 3 versions with this main dataset or the master dataset. So I will close this window and I will quickly open the Tableau. So this is Tableau, which are a shortcut for me or over my desktop. So whenever you use Tableau, the first thing you guys need to do is to import dataset into Tableau. So I will go to my Microsoft as my data in Excel. So first thing is that I will go version 1 open. Another thing to note here is that in my version 2 and version 3, the state variable is also not represented as a state. The spellings is written as US state. So we will also think that we will consider that how Tableau will consider in that case when the state variable is the variable name is not common in both data set. So as you can see, I have the version 1 data in my Tableau. Now I want my second uh, data 2, which is the version 2, and then I will add, so Microsoft Excel, this is the data that I want. As the variable state, and in US this is considered for which is coming from the version 2 is common, so it have automatically created a link between both variable, and you can see here the total number of observations in my data are 50, which is fine because both of the variable have equal number of rows and each row state is matched with the state variable with the state observation from version 1 and version 2. So that's fine. So now let's see what I can do. And even if you here again, you can see this, these are the data, these are the new variables after data appending, data blending. So suppose if this bond don't get created automatically here, Tableau have created it automatically. Suppose if I select this and put it out, so you can see that now I have only version 1. But suppose now if you want to create blending between version 1 and version 2 dataset, how you can do. So I will just simply click my version 2 dataset, and then this is the sheet, and then I will drag it here, and it have created again the link between this country between the version 1 and version 2 dataset automatically. Here then an important thing, you can see here, if I click it here, it's showing me that the bond is created between these two datasets is based on state, and then the state variable from version 2, and it's if this, and you can see that it's highlighted only the intersection. It's showing that the only observation which are got matched will be kept, and all other observation which will not be get matched between two dataset will be dropped. But here for this scenario in version 1 and version 2, it's fine because everything got matched, so it doesn't matter. So let's see what I will do now. If I go to my sheet 1, and now you can see that under my sheet 1 you can see all the dimension, their variable which are from version 1, and then there is a dimension which is from version 2. Then I have the measures which is from version 1 and from version 2 too. So now what I will do, I will create so I will try to show that after blending you can use variables in the same graph from the different dataset. So I will quickly bring this because I will be using version 1 as a master dataset. So I will click the dimension from here, and now what I will do, I will want to see population, how the population variable got updated over the time. So this is the population which is coming from version 1. I will add it here, and I also want to compare my updated population which is from the second dataset, as you can see it here, and I will put it there. And now you can see that these are the number from population and population updated, which are both these variables are coming from two separate data set. And then because we able to blend the data set, and now we can use both the variables within the same chart. So I will quickly go to data source, and now what I will do, I will import another data set which is the version 3, and which is having some states missing, and then we'll see that how we able to create a bond between version 1 and version 2, all these three sets in one data set. So let's see. I will go to add Excel, and now I will select version 3, open, and now you can see there is an error sign of exclamation. Why is it happening? Because Tableau unable to recognize that based on which variable we want to create a bond. The thing that is happening because the state variable, which was the point of connection between version and version 2, was spelled the same way in both dataset. But now in version 3, this variable is spelled as US state. as you can see it here, it's written down as US state. So let me show you from the data. So if I go to version 3, here you can say that it's not written as state, it's written as US states. That's why Tableau unable to recognize that based on which variable it have to create a connection between version 1 and version 3 data set. So in order to rectify that issue, you can easily go and you can say add new. So I will go to here, I will say I will want to create a connection between state, and if I click on the right side, I will so now you can see the data source is version 3 now. So I will say based on US state, so it's able to create a connection and there is no error now. But now that here again is that by default it has told me that only those observations are kept which got matched between version 1 and version 3. And if I close it, you can see that previously we were having 50 rows, but now we have only 47 rows because there were some missing states in the version 3, and that's why only the states which were in version 3 able to get matched with version 1, and those states which were not common in both version 1 and version 3 got dropped by the Tableau. So that's why you have to be very careful about this union. So suppose this union will say that keep all the observations which are in version 1 regardless it got matched with version 3 or not. So if I select this, you will see that this observation will turn back to 50. You can see now that because there are 47 states which are got matched between version 1 and version 3, and there are 3 states which are missing in version 3. And so that's why now when I selected this left join, it able to give me all the observations which are present in version 1, because we are saying that keep all the observations which got matched with version 1 or not. And here if I select, it will say that only keep those observations which are got matched with version 3 or not, and if there is an observation which is not present in version 1, drop it. So if I select that, you will say that we will be back to 47 number, because if I go to my version 3 and if I open it again, version 3 have only 47 observation. As you can see here, the first, it is written on 48 because the first row is the variable name. So I go back. So again, this thing, the full outer join means that keep all the observation regardless they are from version 1 or from the version 3. Keep all the observation regardless they got matched or not. So if I say we will be having 50 again. So mainly what I will be using left join here. So now again, if I look at my right side, you can see that I have population updated version 2, which is coming from version 2 file. Then I have also version 3, which is coming from, so I have keeps on getting updated stats from my population variable, related population variable. So now if I look at here in my sheet 1, you can see that I have now 3 data set under dimensions and also 3 data set under measure. So suppose if I want to add my population updated to variable, I can easily use now. So I will go under version 3, I will drag it here, and now if you can see that there are few observations missing in version 2 and there is no data in my for population updated 2. So this way what I have done is that I'm able to use 3 variables from 3 different data sets into one chart because of the help of join, or the join that I have created. The last thing that I will be able to show you guys is the version 4, in which we have some variables, in which we have some states which are not present in all the data set, or from version 1, as you can see, Punjabs, which are not the states of USA. So if I go to that, go back. So let's see. If I first I have to import version 4 dataset. Let's say Excel. I will click it, then open. Again, all these connections that I have discussed is based on one-to-one merge. That there is a one observation in version 1, and then we try to match that state or the observation to the other observation in other dataset. Now here what happened is that automatically Tableau have created a join between the observation based on version 3 and version 4, which is fine, but I don't want to create a join based on version 3 and version 4. I want to keep my joins based on version 1 to version 4, because previously I have created a join between version 1, version 2, version 1, version 3, and the same way I want to create a join based on version 1 because I'm considering version 1 as my main data set. I want to create all the connection based on version 1 because I'm trying to construct version 1 as the nucleus of the data. So in order to change that, I will simply click here. I will come to data source, and you can see under the data source I want to change this data set. So you select this thing. So sorry, if I come here, you can see under the data source I will select the state variable which is coming from version 1, and now you can see this connection got changed. Now I'm saying that I'm creating a connection based on version 1 and version 4, not version 3 and version 4 which was previously. And again I have to select the join. So currently it's saying me that whatever observation which got matched with version 1 and version 4 will remain, all other will be dropped. And you can see here that there are only 45 observations which got matched between version 1 and version 4. So therefore the join functionality is very important, and you have to be very careful that based on what join you want to select. Here again, if I select the left join, it will only keep those observations which are got matched and which are all present in version 1, regardless the observation of version 1 got matched or not with the version 4. So let's see if I create an outer join, a full outer join. So it will keep all the observation regardless they get matched with version 1 and version 4 or not. So let's say this thing, we are able to see that we have 52 rows, and if I go to sheet 1, I am able to add my fourth variable, population updated 3, which is coming from version 4 dataset. I will select it and add it here. And now you can see it here that we have some missing data. We have some states which are missing in version 4 dataset. And then if I scroll down, you will be able to see that there are some states which are not even present in, so like Punjab and Sindh are not present here. And actually if you're able to see it here, this is the state variable which is coming from version 1, and the version 1 state don't have states like Punjab and Sindh, which are not US states. That's why it's not representing those states here. So this is the way I have shown you guys that how you can create a join between multiple data sets in Tableau, and then how you can use different variables which are coming from different data sets in Tableau. And then we also discussed that how you can create joins between data set, what are those joins mean. So now what I will show you guys is another example of data blending or data merging in Tableau. So I will just simply close this because I'm going to start a new example. So I will close it. So now I will have created a very simple example with a very small data set for you guys, and mainly I will discuss one to many merge and what does it mean by one to many merge. So I will open it up, maximize it. So first I will quickly go through what we have done already. we currently discuss one-to-one merge. What does it mean by one-to-one merge? That for each observation, suppose in this example I have created a very small data set, data 1, which is having some survey information, and you can see for household ID we have unique household IDs, and for each household ID we can navigate an ID to a observation to household to data 2, which is having some other questions, survey data information. So you can easily blend these two, data 1 and data 2, based on one-to-one match, or you can find based on household ID 1 we can find another observation in data 2, and once we blend the data you will get this kind of can get this kind of blended data from both the data 1 and data 2. And you can say there's observation which are got matched in both data, and there is observation which are coming from just using data 2 I'm considering as using, which don't get matched with data 1. And then we have the observation like there is a household ID 6 which is only present in data 1, not in data 2, and for that we have information coming from data 1, and for that household we don't have any information coming from data 2. Now I will go to our second example, in which I'm using another way in which I will try to show that how you can create one-to-many merge. So here you can see that I have a data 3 which have the household ID information, and we have each household in country and state. So for the given state you can see that there is state ID number 1 and 2, and for New York, for California we have household ID 3, but for CT state we have household ID 1 and 2. You can see that this data is unique at household ID and state level, because if you look at just household ID, we have household ID 1 repeating twice and even 2 is repeating twice. So this data is unique at household ID and the state level. And if I look at data 4, so you can see that for each household ID we have asked 3 questions to the number of members living in that household. So in a single household more than 1 members can live. As you can see that state New York, for household ID 1 we have 3 members for which we pass the information, and for household ID 2 we have 2 members from New York for which we have asked, and then we have only 1 member for household ID 3 from California. For New Jersey there is a household ID 4 which is present in data 4 but not present in data 3. We will also see that how it will blend the data in Tableau once we will be having this kind of plan. And then we also have for household ID CT, household ID 1 state CT, we have also 2 members for the same household. So here you can see that we have this data 3 is unique at household ID and state level, whereas this data 4 is unique at household ID, state and member ID. But in order to create a connection between data 3 and data 4, we will need to create a relationship between data 3 household ID and state in data 3, and then we'll try to connect it with the household ID and state with the data 4. As you can see that here at household ID state this data is unique, whereas here we have many observation at a household ID state level. That's why there is the connection between data 3 and data 4 will be one-to-many merge or one-to-many blending. So how we can do this, or how we can achieve this thing in Tableau? So I have already created this data 3 and data 4 in separate Excel files here in my folder. So I will import these 2 data sets into Tableau, and then I will try to create a blend between these 2 data sets. Let's quickly go to my Tableau. This is the shortcut for my Tableau. So the first thing I will be doing is to import the data sets into X into Tableau. So for this one to many, I have created very small data sets so that you guys are able to see more appropriately that how it's working. I will say open, and then I will say add again. I want to create another, add my data 4, open. So now you can see, if you're able to see that again automatically Tableau tried to create a link between both the data sets. And here if I click it, you can see that here what happened is that Tableau tried to create a connection based on the state variable. But that's not true, and that's why what actually happening is that Tableau have created a wrong blend between the two datasets, and it have created based on the state. It have created many to many merge. So for each state, it have. That's why you can see that we have max 11 observation, or after merge it could be 12. But here, if you look at the number of observations are 15, which is not right, and we have to correct it. So actually, the link that we want to create is based on the state and the household ID. So in order to do that, if you look at here, there is another option available, add new join. So I will click it, and I will say the second joiner that I want to create is based on household ID, and then I will click on my right side, and then I will say again here the join is based on household ID. And now you can see the observations got reduced to 8, and now this join is looks good. And here I'm saying that only keep those observations which got matched in between both data 3 and data 4, because we have selected the inner join. And if I look at my Excel file, the observations which are common in both data 4 and data 3 are New York, from New York, California, and this city. This second household is not present here, and this 4 household ID is not present in data 4. Let's quickly look at this household ID. If I scroll down, you can easily see that the household ID 4, which is from data 4, is not present in our data because we have selected inner, because there is no household ID 4 in our data 3 for New Jersey state. And we also don't have this household ID T from the city state in data 4. That's why we don't have those observations in our Tableau, because we have selected inner join. But now if I select the left join, which is saying that keep all the observations of data 3 regardless they are got matched with data 4 or not, which is the left join. So if I will do that, I will also able to see household ID 2 for city state, and there will be some missing information for question 1, 2, and 3. So let's, if I do that, and if I scroll down, and as you can also see that my number of observations get increased. And now you can see that I also have household ID 2 for the state city, and there is missing information because that information is not present in data 4. That's why it's missing. And now if I quickly go to select the right join, which is saying that keep all the observation which regardless they got matched with the data 3 or data 4. So right join is more like making data 4 as the master data. If I select that, you can see that all the observations which are present in data 4 are there, and even the household ID 4, which is missing in data 3, is also there. In the household ID 4, which is coming from data 4, is missing. There is missing information for country and state because that is not present in data 3. And now the full is the full outer join, which will say that keep all the data from both the data set, and you can see it here that there are some missing information for household ID 4 for New Jersey, which is only present in data 4, and then we also have some missing information from the data 4 because this information is present in data 3 and not in data 4. And now if I go to sheet 1, you can see again that we have information from both data 3 and data 4 based on which we can construct our graph. So in this video, we have discussed in detail about that how you can create joins, what are the options available for joining the data sets, and what are the things that you have to be careful. And not only that, how you can create join based on just one variable, how you can create joins based on multiple variables. We also discussed that. So that's all about data blending or data merging in Tableau. Thank you for watching the video.